my name is Kanis Fatima, and today I'm here to deliver a presentation about how Unit 1 of the Early Years Learning Framework, as per Australian Government Department of Education 2022, has influenced curriculum construction for children between the ages 3 to 5. The construction centers on identity, well-being, agency, and inquiry as fundamental to the early years learning outcome 1 to 5. I would like to start with the philosophy that relates to this curriculum design. Children as Early Years Learning Framework version 2 has pointed out are active meaning makers of the world around them. Rinaldi 2006 describes through the Reggio Emilia approach how learning is socio-culturally constructed. As pointed out by Irving and Carter in 2018, curriculum is not only a collection of planned activities, but every interaction, every routine, and every environment a child comes in contact with. Teaching is purposeful and comes out of rethinking practices. Learning becomes a shared endeavor when educator observe, scaffold, and co-construct learning by engaging children in prolonged shared thinking underlined by Suraj Blatchford and his colleagues in 2004. Listening to children, especially in their language and culture and their connection to country, is important in developing a sense of identity and belonging. This has been supported by Coarson 2020, who indicates that inquiry-based learning develops confidence and agency. The next slide will highlight the main developmental characteristics that philosophically underpin my program. As stated in the Early Years Learning Framework, between 3 and 5 years of age, children develop physically, cognitively, socially, and emotionally at a remarkable pace. Small group play fosters the development of empathy and self-regulation, has been articulated by Irving and Carter 2018. Inquiry assists in the development of thinking and problem-solving skills recognized by NSW Department of Education 2023. Children develop a sense of self-worth and belonging when they hear their own home languages, see themselves and their cultures in the environment around them. And this developmental understanding shapes the weekly program that I will be describing in my next slide. As per the Early Years Learning Framework, daily structures ensures that all children's safety and engagement needs are met. We start with the acknowledgement of country and a morning check-in to develop a community. Block and art activities stimulate curiosity and symbolic thinking, suggested by Irving and Carter 2018. Outdoor inquiry fosters physical skills and awareness of the environment, outlined by NSW Department of Education 2023. Routine activities of meals and hygiene develop self-help skills, noted by Gowrie, South Australia in 2017. Reflection at the end of the day in circles develops agency and critical thinking, as said by Australian Government Department of Education 2022. Now I would like to turn how physical space aids the routine and supports children's learning. Rinaldi 2006 states and also supports the environment is the third teacher. So the home corners fosters a sense of belonging, while the art studio and block area ignite imagination and cooperative play, described by Suraj Blatchford and his colleagues in 2004. According to New South Wales Department of Education 2023, the Quiet Nook aligns with self-regulation connected to early years learning outcome 3, and the group mat nurtures community conversation. The ability to access outdoor spaces and toilets promote independence and sustainable practices, noted by Australian Government Department of Education 2022. Open spaces provide unobstructed lines of sight that support active monitoring of children, which aligns with the National Quality Standard Areas 1 and 2, said by NSW Government 2022. In respect to safety and supervision, the next slide contains the ways in which I make sure children are protected and always included. Supervision aligns with the National Quality Standard Areas 1 and 2, noted by NSW Government 2023. In the Early Years Learning Framework, 1 to 11 ratio, educator to child ratio, is maintained for safety by 2 educators. High-risk climbing and water play zones are within arm's reach. Visual schedules and staggered transitions, pointed out by Irving and Carter 2018, support children to navigate the environment, reducing the number of children within a defined physical space. All these approaches ensure a high level of inclusion while protecting physical and emotional safety. Let's now quickly move to the next slide, where I would like to talk about intentional teaching strategies. Vygotsky in 1978 described learning as a function of the zone of proximal development when teachers scaffold new skills. Sustained shared thinking develops ideas through dialogues, said by Siraj Blatchford 2004. Rinaldi 2006 and the Early Years Learning Outcome Framework articulate the importance of agency and voice, respecting children's perspectives and cultures. Informed by Corson 2020 and the VCAA 2020, I observe, document, and plan responsive next steps to each child's learning pathway. Let's now quickly move to the next slide, where I would like to talk about the assessment cycle and planning cycle. The Early Years Learning Framework describes assessment as ongoing and focused on strengths. I collect evidence through learning, stories, and anecdotal records as explained by Gauri, South Australia 2017. Family and educator reflections provide the basis of collaborative inquiry, as Irving and Carter 2018 highlights. Using the observe, analyze, plan, act, reflect cycle, as per NSW Department of Education 2023, Corson 2020, and VCAA 2020, I can create plans that are responsive and ethically sound. Now I will describe how this curriculum incorporates inclusion and well-being. Emotional regulation is assisted by quiet areas and predictable routines. Gauri, South Australia 2017 reminds us that meal times are valuable learning experiences. Cultural inclusion is enhanced by acknowledgement of country and the use of home languages. Reflection sessions allow families to foster partnerships and agencies. All these practices collectively, the national quality areas 1, 2, 5, and 6 fosters a sense of belonging and well-being. This is all about my presentation. Before I finish, I would like to say, overall, the design fosters children's identity, agency, well-being, and inquiry through play-based intentional learning. Thank you so much for listening to me.